Honesty, passion, experience. It's Timberwolves Explosion hosted on the Paladino Live Network. And now, your host, Paladino Joey. Hello again, Timberwolves fans. Are you ready for the explosion of Timberwolves basketball? I am your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan. Timberwolves Explosion is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps, and I thank each and every one of you, once and always, for downloading and listening to the show. It is a great pleasure to be back on board with you once again today. As well, Timberwolves have played 2 games in the regular season so far. Figured I'd hop on board, do at least, a fairly short show, keep things caught up a bit, and maybe get a rant or two out without being too obnoxious, that type of thing. I'll try my best to not be too obnoxious, but Minnesota Timberwolves play 2 games and are 2-2. Let's make that 1-1. Yeah, great. One mistake already to start off the season. Well, get your. If you like to count mistakes, boy, you'll be counting a lot of them. But I suppose that would be a human being type of thing. Apologize for that. But yeah, Timberwolves 1-1. They have some apologizing to do as well. Oh God, awful. Awful. Yeah, the defense is awful. Yeah, I think I made my point there. Portland, I don't know, the Wolves were pretty much just messing around forever in that one and eventually won somehow because Anthony Edwards kind of turned it on as the game progressed. Game number 2 was just awful. I mean, it was just bad. Early frustrations, some positives, some frustrations. Well, let's just get started. Let's just get stuck straight into things here, if we could. And just kind of general NBA thoughts as well, I suppose. I got something to say about some players out there, I suppose. Or the direction of the league, and also maybe a teeny tiny bit about the Chauncey Billups thing, because I don't know that much. But let's go. Game 1 against Portland, 118-114. The Timberwolves somehow escaped this one. Anthony Edwards just half of his shots and half of his threes and all of his free throws. Okay, 41 points, 14 of 28, 5 of 10, 8 of 8 from the line. Even got 7 rebounds, but turned the ball over 4 times. Sloppy, awful. Yeah, the Timberwolves ball control is pathetic. It's sloppy. And it was the same in both games here. 19 turnovers versus the Blazers. Like, the whole game, I'm like, what is this team serious? I'm not sure they are. That might be the title of this episode. We'll see what I decide at the end. I'm sure you're just, well, you can already see it. But if you were listening live, you'd be just clamoring. Oh, what's he going to say? Oh, I'm so worried. I know. Johnny Juzang did make the team, which is great. Leonard Miller is here as well. Enrique Freeman and Rocco Zakarski are inactive in the G League. So it's nice to know that Zakarski is in the United States and not overseas. Bones Highland got in the game for almost 8 minutes. Was able to score some points. Got frustrated on was an offensive foul along the way. That's where the turnover came in. Couple of personal fouls in a matter of 8 minutes. But who said Bones Highland was a great defender? Nobody. Terrence Shannon looked pretty good for the most part coming in off the bench, looking like the 6th man here. 10 points, 4 of 7 from the floor, made both of his threes. At the end of the day, Terrence Shannon will likely and is, in the short rotation here. Is it a 9-man? Is it a 10-man rotation? I don't know. There was a huge announcement going into the game that the starting point, he's playing guard. It's just a guard. Yeah, if he's a point guard, I got a bridge to sell you. Donnie DiVincenzo enters the game, and he was awesome. Just awesome. Yeah. You see the game? Well, he made half of his shots. What's the problem? Yeah, 7 points. He made half of his shots. Yeah, well, he also turned the ball over 6 times and 4 times in the first few minutes. That's your point guard? I mean, it's just, it makes about as much sense as Mike Conley, the last couple of years, clearly having a problem with his wrist and refusing to have surgery on it until after his career. What are we doing here, guys? That's how the way the Timberwolves pretty much are handling the point guard position so far. Let's see, a 38-year-old point guard whose wrist is shot enough to a point that it needs surgery, but he's not having the surgery. 38-year-old point guard and Mike Conley, who, is wisely not starting anymore, at least I don't think. Who knows? Dante DiVincenzo going in at point guard, who's basically an Anthony Peeler type coming in to play point guard. An Anthony Peeler type for your point guard? That makes no bleeping sense. What are we doing? I remember people back in the day were like, oh, who cares if we lose Marbury? We could have Anthony Peeler bring the ball up. Yeah, maybe in your health club league or something. Like, seriously, that's not a point guard. And I know, the point guard's not as important in today's game. Yeah, tell that to before he got hurt anyway. Tell that to Halliburton for Indiana. Tell that to the New York guy over there. Tell that, to the Northern. I don't want to get into him, but old Rubber Muncher. Yeah, they're kind of important still, no matter how you look at it. Point guards are still important. You don't come into the season with a 38-year-old who's practically disabled in his wrist. No, I'm not trying to be rude or anything. And Dante DiVincenzo, who's basically an Anthony Peeler type, kind of at best. I think he's at his best of his game in the catch and shoot. But of course, he can be good moving the ball in transition. But not every single time you go up and down the court is going to be in transition. That's the issue. And then Rob Dillingham, you took him 8th overall in the draft, and you have no confidence in playing him a single bleeping minute in these first 2 games. What are we doing, guys? Seriously, anyone have something to say here? Anyone out there?
What assholes. It's just, what were they thinking?
I have no idea. Well, anything else you want to talk about? See, the Blue Jays kicked the Dodgers' ass in Game 1. Hell yes. Dodgers, to me, are basically the Golden State Warriors of baseball, or the Kansas City Chiefs of baseball. They can go to... Yeah, they can. I'm so glad Toronto kicked the crap out of them. That was awesome. I hope it continues. Please, Toronto, get the job done if you could. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Keep it up. Anything else we're going to talk about? The Wild are, 3-4? That's terrific. No, the Vikings are 3-4. They got slaughtered by the the Los Angeles Chargers, but San Diego will always sound better. And yes, they did that on purpose. I'm not funny, I know. Berenger, I'm glad we have him because the current French center is, he looks really old too. Really old. He looks, I don't know. He got 6 rebounds in this game. What did he get, 9 in the second one or 10? I don't even remember. He's averaging 6 rebounds a game so far and 6 points. He got 2 lousy points against the Lakers. Fouled out versus Portland. I don't know. I'm glad the Timberwolves drafted Johan Berenger. I understand if he's not playing right out of the gate, he's an 18-year-old, but I'm looking forward to his future with this league. I don't think him and Garnett played in his first game, but maybe he did. He was the 5th overall pick. Berenger, not quite. But Dillingham, 8th overall pick last summer. Not this past summer, but 2 summers ago, 2024. 8th overall pick. You trade up for him. And this is where we're at? Okay. And you had Trent Tucker this morning on In the Zone locally here, talking about, Trent Tucker, the former sharpshooter for the Gophers, the New York Knicks, the Chicago Bulls, and the Spurs, and all that good stuff. Final season was just only 1 year with the Bulls and got his ring, and he retired young. Not because of injury. He just figured, I'm kind of at a point I should just step away now. That was his choice. Well, he's talking about how Rob Dillingham is not really a true point guard. He's just kind of a spark plug. And that's pretty much it. And that tells you an 8th overall pick. And then you don't have enough confidence in this spark plug to even be in the rotation. It's, I don't know. It's baffling. I like Bones Highland just fine, but he is a spark plug too. He's kind of he's a similar player in some ways. And here's the thing. Here's the one good side about Rob Dillingham when people are talking about him just being a microwave or whatever, a spark plug off the bench. Let's not forget this certain man who's in the news lately, who was the coach of the Blazers on this particular night, a guy by the name of Chauncey Billups, who used to be a point guard in Minnesota. Well, shooting guard coming in with Terrell Brandon. That made no sense. We gave up about 130 points a game for a while there, when those 2 guys were the 2 guards, because you're not going to get any defense playing that way. It just doesn't work that well. It's fun to watch, but it doesn't work. And he struggled for a while, and then you put him at point guard, and he'd have these great games, but then he'd have his ups and downs. But people said that Chauncey Billups, I even sent an email in talking about Chauncey Billups being the point guard of the future to Trent Tucker and Dave Sinekin and Trent Tucker, because Dave's officially the host. And Tucker's the expert commentator, the professor of hoopology. And I still remember, see, Dave Sinekin read off the email. This is 20 plus years ago, of course, early 2000s, when Chauncey was with Minnesota for only 2 bleeping years, unfortunately. That he could be the point guard of the future for the Timberwolves, him being Chauncey Billups. Trent Tucker responded with, to me, he's that Vinnie Johnson type. He's not really a starting point guard in this league. He can be that microwave off the bench. He can be that valuable piece coming in, like a rotation player, but not really as a full-time starter for your franchise. So the good news is a guy with as much hoop knowledge as Trent Tucker said that about Chauncey Billups, and Chauncey Billups moved on to, at some point later in his career to become not only a pretty damn good point guard, but a point guard for a championship team with Detroit, and then many, many years in the league to a point with going back to Denver, believe it or not, being great there, even with the Knicks, but he was oft injured at that point. In the Clippers, he was pretty much toast then. But 17 years in the league and made it to the NBA Hall of Fame, regardless if some of you agree with it or not. I kind of agree, and I'm very happy for Chauncey in that sense. But see, that's the thing. So hopefully it's a similar situation where it does appear that Rob Dillingham, that's all he's going to be at best, is a spark plug type of guy that hopefully still can become a legitimate full-time starting point guard in this league without having to necessarily being, a John Stockton type, where you're just running the offense or whatever. You can still be a scoring point guard type and be a really good point guard. Obviously, Northern Cal guy, Gary Payton, who I happen to like better than Northern Cal guy, even though he was kind of a jerk to the Timberwolves players for many years. Sorry for the noise. I didn't even turn the sound off here. I apologize. But so there's kind of, call it a rant, call it a rave, call it a little of both. Maybe more of a rant, but not too angry. Just like annoyed that the team is not playing Rob Dillingham at all so far. Really annoyed, actually. At least you might have a future at the center position, because Rudy Gobert, to me, is closer to the end than some people want to admit or want to acknowledge. So that's kind of where I stand on that, is with the center position. Not sure what this noise is in the background, a big old moving truck. But it's not time to move necessarily, but maybe people getting ahead of things. I suppose it is getting late in the year. Oh, by the way, this is my work anniversary, 15 official years of the company, October 25th, 2009 is when I came in. That was 16 years ago, and then a calendar year later I got officially hired with the company I work for, Boston Scientific. So happy work anniversary to me. Yep. So, yeah. Thanks, Joey, for making it about you. I know. Jaden McDaniels was pretty good in the game against Portland on Wednesday. 18 points, catch and shoot threes from the corner, 3 of 4. That was pretty damn good. Even 5 rebounds. Did get into a little bit of foul trouble, but was a presence off and on the night, offensively and defensively, getting 3 blocks as well. What the heck is all this noise? Oh, great, a train's coming. That was sudden. This is Jaden McDaniels coming into Portland. No, it was Anthony Edwards. Okay, I'm not going to try to talk over that. That was Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards in the fourth quarter in Portland. Yeah. Good job, Ant. Santa Claus coming to the party. Santa Claus coming, yep, with his Sprite. He threw some Sprite down to everybody for gifts. Okay, well, whatever it was. 41 points in 39 minutes. Great performance. He felt good. Like, okay, we won when we played bad, or the Timberwolves won when they played bad, played poorly, which they did, because 19 turnovers is awful. Randall was actually pretty solid in the game. Obviously, you're seeing the nice post moves, even 3 of 5 from downtown, 7 of 13 overall, and 6 assists in the game. That's pretty good. He's not a great rebounder right now. Sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't. As a team, the Timberwolves rebounded just fine. How many? 45? Portland got 39. So it was kind of a collective effort. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Yeah, 45. Yep. 5 assists for Shannon Jr. as well, though. That should count for something. So he's kind of helping guide the offense as well, or simply move the ball around. Jalen Clark, it doesn't really show up in the stats, but then again, it kind of does. He's got something of everything. 1 made basket only, though, out of 5 for 2 points. But a little bit of everything, the assists, the rebounds, some steals, and just the defensive presence and the energy that Jalen Clark brings is what a lot of us are optimistic about and strongly Just feeling so happy and confident with Jalen Clark in the rotation. So at least you have that going on. You have that going for you. Mike Conley finds his way in the rotation and makes a single 3-point shot. Not even one assist. Yeah, 1 of 5 though overall. Missed a lot of everything. It's wonderful. But yeah, he's not looking like a guy who should be taken seriously as a point guard in the league anymore. And I'm not trying to be a jerk to him. I'm seriously not. It's just we can't. You can't continue the way this is heading, and not being prepared. It's just a terrible mistake. Not being prepared coming into the season at that position. It's more important than people want to give credit to. That's all. So now that I've dragged that out and belabored it as long as I have, it's oh man, it's frustrating. Portland, well, Avdija with 20 points to lead the way. Well, no, Jeremiah Grant off the bench, 29 points. He was scorching that at 10 of 14 overall, 4 of 7 from downtown. That would be 3-point land if you didn't know, but most of you do know, especially if you played NBA Jam back in the day. But of course, announcers said that as well way before that. That's why we knew what downtown was without even having to shoot a 3-pointer in NBA Jam. The 24th of October, the Timberwolves head to Los Angeles, home of the frickin' Dodgers too. Ugh. I don't know. LeBron was sitting out. Everything's going to be fine. Wolves will be fine. Yeah, sure they will. Doncic, 49 points. Luka Doncic, 49 points. Rui Hachimura with only 2 lousy rebounds in the game. Somehow Luka Doncic got 11. I don't even understand that one, but he did. I don't know. I guess he does. Yeah, I know. I'm hard on him sometimes. But do you blame me? DeAndre Ayton looks very strange in a Lakers jersey. I talked with Vince Germano during the course of the game. I was saying, we suck. We're getting our butts handed to us. And he's like, it's just, we'll see what happens. The Lakers will probably find a way to blow it. And they didn't. Hachimura, 10 of 13. Didn't he, torch us a lot last year? I think he did. It was annoying. And there's that other stupid guy in Golden State that just destroyed us. He's the one that we traded the draft rights away years before he was drafted, of course. So it's not like we rejected him. It was years before the guy was drafted. The rights were traded in that Andrew Wiggins and D'Angelo Russell trade. I don't even want to think about it. That was Golden State, of course. That was the second round, and we had an annoying guy making a million plays on us. But Hachimura was definitely a pain in the ass last year against the Wolves in the postseason. Austin Reeves with 25 as well. Good Lord. Just kind of a little bit of everything, including 11 assists. 11 assists, denying Luka Doncic from a triple-double. Doggone it. Luka only with 8 assists. Jeez, that's just awful. 26 assists for the Harlem Globetrotting Lakers out there, though the Wolves did have 24 assists. The ball movement wasn't that bad in terms of overall assists and all that. Julius Randle with 6 assists again, 26 points and 9 rebounds. Best player on the floor, I'd say, for the most part, except for 3 turnovers, which isn't too great. But the Wolves' ball control wasn't that bad. 12 turnovers isn't as bad as the Portland game with 19. The ball control was awful in Portland. But then you head to Los Angeles, and it wasn't the ball control, it was the defense. Just generally speaking, the defense was like Minnesota Vikings against the Chargers. It was like, okay, are you serious? Anybody here serious about anything here? What's going on? Are you even trying? Not really. It was kind of like, yeah, we're down. We're down, but we're not out. But what the hell? I guess we are out. Rob Dillingham plays 59 seconds and apparently breaks his nose. So I'm not sure what to think about that. That's great. Rob Dillingham, 59 seconds at the end, the garbage time. We couldn't get him in earlier when we were down by 28 bleeping points. You couldn't put him in. Geez, I guess we're going to make a miracle comeback in 7 minutes. You can't play Dillingham then? I'm not sure. I guess not, but he breaks his nose. It's absolutely wonderful, just wonderful. Berenger enters in and gets 4 rebounds. Again, garbage time. You can take that where that goes. I don't know. Not trying to be a jerk about it, but we can take that as is what I'm trying to really say. Conley with 9 minutes and looked like a guy who played 9 minutes and is, more of a coach than a player at this point. Again, not trying to be a jerk. I'm just stating the facts here. What do you want me to tell you? Conley played well? I'd be lying. Terrence Shannon Jr. didn't play well either. He was a minus 13 in a lousy 13 and a half minutes and didn't score a frickin' point. But he made sure he made sure to add 2 turnovers and personal fouls as well. Bones Highland with 9 points off the bench. Jalen Clark with 9 points off the bench. Anthony Edwards with 31 points, 11 of 19. His shooting has been spectacular so far. He's 50% from outside and over 50% from the floor so far on the season. That's wonderful, but the defense is not there. There is no defensive presence in the entire team. Rudy Gobert with 2 lousy points in the whole lousy game. Got 7 lousy rebounds. Not one block. He looks old. He looks tired. He looks like expensive. He looks like an expensive old center. That's what he looks like. That's what he looks like to me. It was nice while it lasted, guys, when it came to Rudy Gobert. Byron J, hopefully someday, soon, Byron J can become more and more of a factor for this franchise because we need him sooner than later. We need him sooner than we think. Gobert's here. Gobert's healthy enough to play and start at the center position, but so far this season he's looking more like Roshan Nesterovic, or and not too far from now he might start looking like Stojko Vrankovic, pardon me if I'm saying that correctly, with like maybe 4 points and 4 rebounds or something, and missing everything missing everything that he attempts other than putbacks. I appreciate the putbacks. Putbacks are worth 2 points, just like Michael Jordan's fadeaways. They're worth the same amount of points, but they're not always there. They're not always available, especially when you're slow, very, very slow. Despite length and athleticism, very slow. Length, strength, and athleticism. Isn't that cool how he worded that? But the Lakers, again, all over the Wolves, blowing them out. And what is more there to say about this one? Not a whole lot. 1-1 are the Wolves. They got fast breaked. They got 80s Lakered, I don't know, by a team that it doesn't even resemble the 80s Lakers. But not sure what to say. I bet Chauncey Billups we're seeing like a press conference after the Wolves game in silence. And probably had no idea what was coming just a couple hours later from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, whatever, FBI. I don't know what to say. I guess mafia involved type of thing. Like, I don't know, all kinds of like surveillance and being able to see cards underneath the tables with lights, and it sounds like technology that I couldn't even imagine. I don't mean just that, but like something on glasses or contact lenses. I can't even believe that type of technology exists, but I guess it does. Interesting stuff. Or is able to cheat, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's just sad why that players would do this kind of stuff. What certain player, I forget who the player was now, I'm blanking, because it's not all that important necessarily about naming names. Just the fact that it's happening in the league where players are shaving point spreads. Now, it's not overly surprising that people do this. It's just sad when it comes out and it's being proven as fact that players are shaving point spreads. You get like maybe the point spread is like 9 or something, and you're up by 8, and you intentionally missed a free throw or something to you won the game, but you only won by 8, and then you can collect the money for that, shaving point spreads. So terrible, sad. There was a Matlock episode many years ago about a college player doing that, and he ended up being the murderer at the end of the story because the athletic director for the school was killed by what people thought was the coach with a bad temper. It ended up being the player shaving point spreads was getting caught by the athletic director and was about to get expelled from the team and everything, and his career destroyed. Instead, the player murdered the athletic director, but eventually the facts came to the surface. That's Matlock for you, and that was the old Matlock, which I think was much better, by the way, than the new Matlock. But as for it's fascinating stuff. It's very sad that this kind of thing is happening. Very sad, and I'm not sure overall what to say about it other than it's really sad. It's really sad. So are the courts nowadays. It's like all about HDTV. Another thing that's sad is the certain team that's flashing on the screen in the background right now. Oklahoma City Thunder, and I'm picking them to go back to back and such. They look like they have a real good shot at it, and I'm not happy about it. I think the Thunder. Now I said this with Vince. The Thunder And the Golden State Warriors, like SGA, will say, not necessarily the whole team. Guys like SGA and Steph Curry, I think, are creating a rot for the entire sport of basketball. You know why? And it's not just them. It's players like them as well that are following it, or even players before them. Steph Curry, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And that's why you're seeing people like Wemby shooting 17 threes a game at times. 17 threes in a game. What is going on here? Why are, spectacular 4 players that have all kinds of skills shooting 13 to 17 threes in a game? That's a rot in the sport, as far as I'm concerned, caused by the Steph Currys of the world. The other side, now again, this has been going on forever, but it's absolutely being exploited to a maximum level by SGA. The nonstop, I was fouled, flopping, and being able to trick the refs into calling everything, being able to sell it nonstop. You know what? To a point, it's fine. Every player's done it forever. Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. Every player has created fouls and such, helping create contact, getting a player off the ground, and kind of leaning into him, and then he fouled me and all that. But SGA has taken it to a level of insanity, as far as I'm concerned. Like the way a spectacular double overtime game versus the Houston Rockets ended with Kevin Durant, just happening to be standing there with his hands up, and the guy creating contact, SGA. It's just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. It's like, this is not basketball anymore. This is just charades or something. Or a three-point contest with Larry Bird, yeah. Larry Bird. Larry Bird shot threes and he made them. He wasn't just out there making it his entire game, though. There was so much more to Larry Bird. Steph Curry, and then you see constant college players out there over the years where maybe they don't even attempt a single shot in front of the three-point line. Like there were some stat charts that were showing that. And it's like, what is going on here? That's when you know the game is rotting because of, following certain star players or certain styles of play. That it's creating a rot in the sport as far as I'm concerned. Now go ahead and call me an old man yelling at a cloud. I don't give a bleep. Call me that until I'm dead. Call me that till you're blue in the face. I don't give a bleep. I don't care. I think it is cheapening the game. I do. I think it's the entertainment level for the sport is dropping because of that. As far as I'm concerned, if that's what you guys want, so be it. But I don't know. I don't think anybody is wrong for saying that's not what I grew up watching. That's not what I came here to watch. It's just 3-3-3 or selling a foul. I think it's cheapening the sport. Okay, I got that off my chest. I've been dying to get that off my chest. You could probably tell. And it's done. As for that, any previews coming up? I don't think so. I think I'm going to do a one-segment shot. This doesn't need to be a long show. Other than I'll just say the rest of the month, the Timberwolves play the Pacers coming up on Sunday. No Vikings game for us locally here in the Twin Cities, so we'll have plenty of time watching that. I might be, who knows. I'll be recording the second and third segments of that Purple Mafia show when I may be having that Wolves game on in the background. Denver back-to-back, both in Target Center, so good for the Wolves. Coming back home and then hosting the Lakers on Wednesday, is it? Yes, Wednesday the 29th on ESPN. All right, so thoughts on the Timberwolves on Amazon Prime? I thought it was fine. Luckily, I've had Amazon Prime for over a decade, so I'm one of the fortunate ones that didn't have to I better subscribe if I'm going to be watching games. I already have it. So a lot of people do, and I think Amazon is able to capitalize on that pretty easily. And then you get to hear people like, since TNT no longer exists in the NBA, it's hockey at least, so awesome. Wayne Gretzky and others out there. Yeah, on the desk for that. NBA on NBC. Wow, it's so weird. I mean, Michael Jordan was still playing when that was still around. On the Bulls, by the way, not on the Wizards. So really cool there. I'm not sure what I forget that. Oh, yeah, Amazon. Our local guy, Kevin Harlan, yes, is like the main guy there, and that's awesome. He's the Marv Albert. He's the, whatever. He's the Marv Albert. He's the Bob Costas. He's the Kevin Harlan for Amazon. So happy to have him there. Thank you. And he used to be our guy here for TV and radio depending on what the situation was. It was awesome having Kevin Harlan as voice of the Wolves for several years to start out the franchise. I mean, what a gift that really was. What a national treasure he truly is. So, all right, that's kind of the upcoming games to wrap up the month of October. We'll see when I'm back here when it comes to shows. It's going to be like rainy days, Sundays, that kind of thing. Keeping up before the fall cleanup season is over because it hasn't even started yet. Are we playing on Black Friday this year? I do not think so. Nope. I believe that would be the 28th of November, most likely. Can't imagine Thanksgiving being on the 20th. Maybe it is, though. I can't remember. Is Thanksgiving early this year or late? Last year was extremely late. When is Thanksgiving in 2025? 27th. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. I mean, I was like, it's usually a higher number in the 20s. So Friday the 21st, we'll be playing the Suns. 28th, nobody. So the day before Thanksgiving, Oklahoma City, and the Saturday as we'll be headlong into the Christmas season, the Wolves will be hosting the Boston Celtics. Otherwise, hopefully the Wolves beat those stupid Thunder in a Western Conference Final rematch on ESPN, 6:30 in Oklahoma City. And some people call it the OKC. All right, there's the previews, I guess you could say. It's kind of a preview. Kind of, sort of. Let's get to the fan interaction right here and right now. At TWolvesEX, at TWolvesEX, and I didn't see any comments on Instagram or Facebook. Facebook.com/Timberwolves Explosion. Instagram is, I believe it's just Timberwolves_Explosion, but I'll make 100% sure here. Very interesting thing. 1 second here. Just want to make sure about something. Okay, that was interesting. I hit the wrong button here. Don't you love when you do that? Stupid mother. I apologize. God, you think you know what you're doing, and then you don't. Timberwolves_Explosion. Yes. My apologies. That'll be in the show description anyway. Fan interaction. Vince Germano and Tanae Brown retweeting the most recent episode. You guys are unbelievable. Tanae Brown out of New Zealand and Vince Germano out of Australia. Might. ALBJ4. Let's see, is he local? I believe so. Yeah, we got that Byron Buxton for his logo there. Yep, he's from Minnesota. Simply just the word Minnesota for the location. That's more than enough, I suppose. It's good enough. I was saying, what an annoying game. And the Timberwolves led for 5 seconds in this one. My God, that's what it felt like. This was Portland, by the way, not the Laker game. Portland. Yeah, the one we actually won. ALBJ4 says, just playing stupid basketball. So many dumb turnovers. And I couldn't agree more. That's for damn sure. Continuing. Hopeless Wolves fan. Okay, yes. There was a post about Donnie DiVincenzo from Chris Haynes. And, yep, new era. Wolves.next saying, Finch, man, if it didn't work last year, stop running it back. Like, damn. And then Chris Haynes was showing that, breaking that Donnie DiVincenzo's the starting point guard for this game. I wrote, does nothing for me. The guy is not a point guard. Tanae Brown jumping in saying, it only makes sense to start him if Ant is the primary ball handler. I suppose, yep, only makes sense to start him if Ant is the primary ball handler. I remember when Flip was starting Levine at point guard all the time, and he just didn't have the ball handling to do it. Feels exactly the same. Yep, feels exactly the same. It does. Like, I don't know why you're putting these people at point guard. It's like they're skilled players, but I don't know. It's frustrating. Skilled players, but it doesn't mean they're the right guy who should be the point guard. Tanae Brown also wrote out, boy, we looked rusty, but got there in the end. 1-0. Let's hope the next game we look a bit more tidy. And unfortunately, that was not the case. The Laker game was a disaster, to say the least. Unfortunately, there's nobody else. But thank you very much, Tanae. Always love you. There actually are a couple of posts from in between the recent in between the previous show coming here. Benzo did get in for the preview. It was like afterward, though, after the show was recorded. Benzo did jump in, so thank you. I'm glad I backtracked. Benzo out of the Bronx saying MVP and not sixth man again. Wow. Jaden will slacked down on the unnecessary angry man fouls, putting him into Defensive Player of the Year convo. Rob will eventually start and be in most improved discussions. And that could still happen, by the way. Just because the guy's rotting on the bench now doesn't mean he's dead yet. He ain't dead yet. TJ will also be in most improved discussions. And John Berenger will play the most meaningful as a rookie since Ant. I wouldn't be surprised about that, honestly. Terrence Shannon was pretty meaningful last year, but really late in the year, and it wasn't that meaningful. And, with like the comments they made about Rudy Gobert not looking so hot at all out there, Berenger might be a huge, help for this franchise going forward. He, obviously like long-term as a starting center and such, but even early on could be a huge factor, showing signs of the future as well, showing flashes. What was there, some predictions out there? Yep, I posted it up. ESPN prediction: the West has the Warriors 63-19 at the top. The Thunder 58-24. The Nuggets 55-27. Grizzlies, what the heck, 51-31. Fifth place Clippers 48-34. Sixth place the Rockets 44-38. Timberwolves tying the Rockets. Seventh place 44-38. Gee, thanks, but yeah, they might be right. The way things are going, the Portland Trailblazers playoff team 43-39. Maybe they look okay. They really do. Ninth place, the Suns, 42-40. 10th place, the Kings, 38-44. That's the play-in range. And then the Spurs are out, tied 38-44 again. Mavericks, 36-46 with the upcoming rookie. The Lakers, Vince is not going to like this. And it's probably not accurate for this one. Lakers, 36-46. 13th place in the West. Can't imagine Vince is going to like that one. And I'm not trying to talk bleep to Vince or anybody else on the Lakers. That's probably going to be a reciprocal of that. Like 46-36 sounds more realistic to me with the Lakers. And it might even be 50. You might even be able to flip the Lakers and the Grizzlies, possibly, or the Clippers. Maybe 48-34 with the Clippers or 51-31 with the Grizzlies. And then the other team is 36-46. Pelicans 34-48. And coming in at the rear, the Jazz 21-61. And we'll go back over to the East just for fun. Magic, first place, 57-25. The Magic, way up there. 7 games ahead of the Knicks. I don't know about that. Second place, the Knicks, 50-32. Hawks coming in third. That would be nice. That'd be nice. I mean, I like the Hawks. I do. 47-35. Pacers with the tie. The 3rd and 4. They're same record. Raptors, 46-36. Are you sure about that? Huh. Bucks, 6th place, 44-38. Cavaliers, that far down, 48-38. I wouldn't be surprised if the Magic and the Cavs switch that spot. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Cavs might be number 1 to 57 wins. Don't I have them in the finals? I can't even remember. I know I have the Thunder there against, it's Detroit. They have the Pistons. My God, I can't believe what I'm seeing here. Miami Heat, 8th, 42-40. Bulls back in the play-in again, 41-41. Celtics 40-42, 10th place, so that's the play-in. It'd be the Cavs and down to the Celtics there, Heat and Bulls. Sixers out 37-45. Pistons out 36-46 at 12th. I don't know. You might be able to switch that with the Pacers, but who knows? Or actually the Raptors. At the very least, the Raptors, Pistons finished 5th at least. I mean, I think they're better than that, honestly. I have the Pistons in the finals. They have them as 12th in the conference. 10 games under 500. Hornets, 13th place, 23-59. And the Nets and Wizards will have the 2 worst records in the whole NBA. 14th place, Nets, 13-69. And the Wizards going 12-70. Epic stuff. Wow. Tanae Brown jumping in saying Warriors winning 63 games. I just had to Google if they traded for Giannis or something. No way. I agree. a million %, Tanae, on that. Warriors are not winning 63 games. They look promising and everything, but they're promising only because like the immediate win now thing with Butler and Curry and all them and Draymond Green and whatever, and some of the other spark plug rotation guys. They're not winning 63 games. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Grizzlies or something, like 51. I don't mean the Grizzlies winning 63. I mean, maybe the Warriors might be down where the Grizzlies are, like 51-ish, or the Clippers or something. They're going to have their ups and their downs. Guys get hurt too. When it comes to Curry and especially Butler, guys miss games. And Butler has those, like, I don't know, like I'm here but I'm not a star kind of games all the time. Like he did several games when the Wolves kind of shut him down a bit because Curry was out with the injury. So I don't see the Warriors as a championship contender. It's partially because I can't stand them, but it's also because I just don't think they are. I can't stand the Thunder either, but I see them as a championship contender and going back to back. So that's just being honest. Don't like it, but it's highly possible. Highly possible the Thunder win 58 to 63 games this upcoming season. With that said, thank you so much for listening. Bless you guys. I love you. Anybody can put some more positive 5-star reviews on iTunes or anything else like that, Spotify. I'd be greatly appreciated. Would love to hear from you as well on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It'll all be in the show description, so do check it out. Thank you again so much for listening, and we'll be back fairly soon. We'll see how it goes.